This is Top Accolade Global News Update. I am Abiodun Mohammed. Chinese and Russian officials stood shoulder to shoulder with Kim Jong-un as they reviewed North Korea's latest nuclear-capable missiles and new attack drones at a military parade in Pyongyang. North Korean state media showed on Friday. The widely anticipated parade in the capital on Thursday night commemorated the 70th anniversary of the end of the Korean War, celebrated in North Korea as Victory Day. Russian Defense Minister Sergei Shoigu's visit was the first by Moscow's top defense official since the 1991 breakup of the Soviet Union. China's visitors were the country's first such delegation since the COVID-19 pandemic began. Their appearance at events with the North nuclear missiles banned by the United Nations Security Council with Chinese and Russian support marked a contrast with previous years when Beijing and Moscow sought to distance themselves from their neighbors' nuclear weapons and ballistic missile development. Kim, Shoigu, and Chinese Communist Party Politburo member Lee Ong-zong talked, laughed, and saluted as North Korean troops marched and weapons rolled below. Photos released by North Korean state media showed. UK authorities said on Friday they were investigating Defense Ministry emails that were mistakenly sent to the wrong recipient after reports that messages intended for US military intelligence ended up with Russian ally Mali. Ministry of Defense officials were trying to contact the Pentagon, whose domain name is .mil, but accidentally sent the mails to Mali, which has the domain name .ml, the Times newspaper reported. Mali has cultivated close ties with Russia since the 2021 coup while distancing itself from former colonial power France and other Western nations. Last month, authorities asked a UN peacekeeping force to leave the country. Britain said the information that was mistakenly shared was not highly sensitive. Last week, a Financial Times investigation said millions of US military emails had been misdirected to Mali's domain over the course of years due to the prevalence of such typos. British media made light of the incident with the BBC running the headline, in quotes, "You've got Mali," a deliberately inaccurate reference to a 1998 Tom Hanks and Meg Ryan rom-com. France's foreign minister said on Friday that a power grab in Niger was not definitive and that those responsible still had time to accede to international demands that the ousted president be reinstated. Speaking to reporters on the sidelines of a trip by French President Emmanuel Macron to Papua New Guinea, Catherine Colonna also said countries in the West African ECOWAS bloc were likely to meet on Sunday with a discussion on imposing sanctions possible. In quote, "If you hear me say attempted coup d'etat, it is because we don't consider that things are definitive." Colonna was quoted by French media as saying the foreign ministry confirmed the broad lines of her comment. The Niger President Mohamed Bazoum is being held in the presidential palace and it remains unclear who is in charge of the country after soldiers on Wednesday evening declared a coup that sparked widespread condemnation. In a statement signed by its chief of staff, the army on Thursday declared support for the soldiers who stripped President Mohamed Bazoum of power. It said its priority was to avoid destabilizing the country. Colonna said Macron had spoken to Bazoum on Friday and that he was in good health and should be released as a condition of restoring constitutional order. Donald Trump is facing new criminal charges after United States prosecutors accused the former president of ordering employees to delete security camera footage at his estate in order to hinder an investigation into the mishandling of classified documents. US federal prosecutors on Thursday announced 3 new charges against Trump, including obstruction and willful retention of national defense information, bringing the total number of counts against the Republican in the case to 40. Prosecutors also charged Carlos de Oliveira, a 56-year-old maintenance worker at Trump's Mar-a-Lago resort, with conspiracy to obstruct justice, lying to investigators, and destroying documents, according to court documents. De Oliveira is the second Trump employee to face federal criminal charges alongside the former president. Trump valet Walt Nauta was indicted in June, at the same time as the former Republican leader. Thursday's updated grand jury indictment also includes new charges against Nauta, including allegations that he and de Oliveira tried to suppress evidence by deleting Mar-a-Lago surveillance footage. It accuses the 3 men of endeavoring to alter, destroy, mutilate, and conceal records at Mar-a-Lago to impair their use as evidence. Jordan's parliament has passed a new cybercrime legislation that will crack down on online speech deemed harmful to national unity. a move decried by opposition lawmakers and human rights groups. After a 6-hour debate on Thursday, the country's lower house of parliament passed the legislation to make certain online posts punishable with months of prison time and fines. The posts targeted include those seen as, in quote, promoting, instigating, aiding, or inciting immorality, demonstrating contempt for religion, or undermining national unity. It will also target those who publish names or pictures of police officers online and outlaw certain methods of maintaining online anonymity. While proponents of the legislation argue it is necessary to punish blackmailers and online attackers, critics say it will expand state control over social media, limit free access to information, and penalize anti-government speech, and thereby could be used against political opponents. That is the size of top accurate global news updates. You can follow us on our social media platforms as displayed on your screen. Happy weekend.